Hello and welcome back, guys, to Sound of Manchester. This is your host Prathamesh, and joining me is Kushagra. And now on Thursday night, we play Aston Villa away from home at Villa Park. As you know, this is Thursday night in India, meaning it is going to be 12:45 a.m. on a Friday. So please do not forget to tune into the match. And me and Kushagra, are going to talk about what is the possibility of Manchester United winning and what can we expect from the game at Villa Park. Kushagra, I mean, we have been in good form of late, but the other teams who are chasing top four along with us, Chelsea, Wolverhampton, Leicester, have also picked up wins. As we record, Chelsea are winning at halftime at Selhurst Park. I hope that is a different story at full time. But anyway, so how do you think our chances are in that way?
Hi, Ben. Hello to everyone. It's an interesting race that's going on for the fourth spot, third and fourth spot in the Premier League. We will not consider the fifth spot right now because still the ruling has to come on the 13th of July, if I'm not wrong. So we'll hold on to that. And as far as you spoke about Chelsea, of course they're winning at Selhurst Park, and I hope Crystal Palace can do something, do us a favor, maybe get a draw at least. But apart from that, I feel it's going to come down to almost the last match day because on the last match day the matches are very interesting. Leicester play United and Chelsea play Wolves, so it could be that all four clubs might still be involved. Though personally, I would want United to have actually gone ahead of those two clubs by then. So as far as Villa are concerned, man, they are 18th in the table, and they've not had a good restart. I think they just have one draw, and they've lost all of their other matches.
Yeah, that one draw
So
was also because of goal line technology.
because yeah, the one against Sheffield, yeah, right, the very first match. Yeah, so so that ridiculous decision aside, they would have lost all matches. So I feel Aston Villa, of course, they unfortunately one of the clubs that are doomed for relegation along with Norwich because they've just played Liverpool and now they play United. By the time they're done with United, they'll just have four matches left. Uh, that saying that something that Ole Solskjaer said, United did not pick up many points from the teams that they have to play in the next three, four games. So if you look at the reverse picture, Jack Grealish scored a fantastic goal at Old Trafford. If you remember that hit into the top corner and top right hand corner for De Gea, and it was a marvelous goal. And so of course they have all the capabilities of taking points from United, and of course they're going to be home, so that whatever little advantage in these times it can be. But I feel that United are on a good run. I do not think that United will face any problems. The men to look out for from the Villa squad, I would put them as, of course, Jack Grealish is the biggest threat for them. Apart from him, John McGinn, he's a very good player. He's a very, very solid midfielder. There were a lot of talks linking him to United at the beginning of the season, if you remember.
Yeah, I think it was
Uh,
Sir Alex recommended transfers. That is what it came in the
yeah,
media, at least.
yeah. I mean, any Scottish guy, they said the same thing about McTominay as well. So you know, you can't really be sure about that. But yeah, they have John McGinn, they have Jack Grealish, they have. I am not entirely sure. I think they're playing Keenan Davis up top. At least the matches that I've seen, they've been playing Keenan Davis. Though they also have Samata. I don't know if he's injured though. Another player that has impressed me this season from Aston Villa is Douglas Luiz. I feel that he has a higher ceiling than Aston Villa. I think one of the clubs that stays back in the Premier League will pick him up if Villa go down. So these are the three, four players I would think that we might be worried about. Though looking at how they've defended and how they've played, I would expect United to win comfortably. And I don't want to jinx it, but United really need to win if we want the top four spot. United cannot afford to drop points.
Yeah, I mean, United really have played well in the recent past as well. And obviously, going to Villa Park, we have had good record over there. I remember a game particularly where Javier Hernandez scored a hat trick at Villa Park in Sir Alex's final season. So
Yeah, the 12-13 season. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that game was really eventful. And obviously, we have had a good performance at Villa Park, even under David Moyes, the last one that I remember. So, and Falcao scored a goal at Villa Park once upon a time for United. So we have had some good players and good performances at at Villa Park from United. Obviously, one match where you were there at Villa Park, and where I think, yeah, Ryan Giggs scored that winner.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. So,
So
so if you talk about Villa Park, just a side note here. It's apart from Old Trafford, I would say it's the luckiest ground for United in England, because you think of course, that match 1999, of course, like it's a momentous match. But if you think of a lot of semi-finals, so earlier semi-finals weren't played at Wembley; they were played on a neutral ground. So Villa Park
yeah,
used to be generally a favorite for all the northern clubs. They used to play the semi-finals there, a lot of them.
yeah,
So that's unfortunate for Villa, because that meant they weren't reaching the semi-finals. So
yeah.
yeah, that
Obviously,
being aside,
yeah. But I
that
think
being aside,
we have done well in that way. Yeah, Villa Park has
yeah,
been
do you
good
remember?
hunting
Do you
ground.
remember? Yeah, do you remember that Paul Scholes
Yeah,
save
the
from
Paul Scholes
directly from
volley.
the corner?
Yeah,
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 yeah. From that was also at Villa Park. And I think you're talking about the home advantage at this point of time. I think the only home advantage which they will have is Dean Smith standing on the top of the dressing room. I mean, top of the dugout, and otherwise probably they will have their own dugout, whereas United will have to change in some random office that has got converted into a dressing room. But yeah, I think we have been doing quite well. Very obvious that Bruno Fernandes has been at the heart of everything since lockdown. He has been since January when he signed, but especially after lockdown, he has been absolutely brilliant. Mason Greenwood has stepped up to the shoes. That has meant that Daniel James is probably uh, only notable contribution since lockdown has been the dance video with Paul Pogba recently. And that the joke aside, I think, but Dan James has played really well. Uh,
yeah, a little
and
harsh.
also, yeah, that was really harsh. And I think, yeah, that was a nice one. And yeah, again, I think Martial's involvement in the game is really good, because it's not just the three goals that he scored against Sheffield. I think his overall involvement in the game is better now. He's holding up play much better as well. So I think he's done well. Luke Shaw's done really well. Maguire has been well, but that one brain fade moment again, which he had against Bournemouth, where Stanislas nutmegged him for the goal. And I think Luke Shaw had his uh, you could say his revenge when he just walked at Harry Maguire and did this. I mean, what is this? Because I think Harry Maguire screamed at it once during the Sheffield game, if you remember. So I think, yeah, these players have really done well since the restart. Obviously, Pogba coming back, he's played in the deeper role which he played for France, and he's done really well. He's linked up play. He's been the connect between the defensive line and the midfield and the strikers. And obviously, his partnership with Bruno Fernandes has just been amazing. So with United, it's almost a no-brainer what team we're going to pick, because it is going to be the same one that started against Sheffield. It's going to be the same one that started against Bournemouth. And probably, I think the only change is probably, if any, you can expect uh, might just be Greenwood may or may not start, because I think they might look to tweak things out a little bit, but I don't think that's going to happen anyway. But Victor Lindelof is doubtful. That is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said today. So we are going to have Eric Bailly. Axel Tuanzebe is also not fit for us. So Eric Bailly will be starting, and Phil Jones is also thankfully injured. So he won't be starting. So we definitely know it's going to be Bailly. So apart from that, I don't think we are going to expect any surprises. The Dan James one is also not at all possible. I feel just had to put something in for him after the joke I cracked on him. But anyway, I think we can expect a pretty straightforward win. And Kushagra, last time during the review, you asked me my prediction on the Villa game. I said I will be doing it right now. My prediction, I have two predictions actually. One is that we'll be winning by a 4-0 margin, and second is that Marcus Rashford will be scoring more goals than Anthony Martial in this game.
Ah, that's okay. We'll see to that. We have a few matches, and I'll be right here. You'll be right there. We'll be discussing who finishes where. But
Yeah,
as far as the United team is concerned, I completely agree with you. I don't see any reason for there to be any changes. United will, by the time they play the match, they would have had more than 5 days, almost 6 entire days of rest
Yeah.
for the entire squad. And apart from Lindelof, we haven't heard of any complaints for any other players. There aren't any muscle injuries. There aren't, thankfully, touch wood, there aren't any injuries, especially to the front five that United have. They need to be wrapped up in cotton wool. So, of course, I feel just reiterating our previous lineup, the the front six. I don't think we need to mention them. We've mentioned them enough. With the same defense, apart from Lindelof, with Bai filling in for Lindelof, and of course De Gea and goal. Uh, as far as the predictions concerned, I'll go slightly conservative. I'll go 3-0. Uh, I'd hope that Bruno gets another goal. He's on my FPL team. He's my captain.
You
So I
can't
hope
you
Bruno,
can't forget Jose, can you? Conservative.
no, that's because let Tottenham worry about Jose, man. If players are fighting amongst each other, let them worry about Jose. I could not care about him enough to even waste a second. Seriously, that is the worst time. I've supported United for over 20 years. That's the worst period of United that under Jose. So it's worse for me. It was worse than Moyes and La Vangal because anyway, like that's a different, guys. That's a different episode.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's given me an idea, so we'll have a discussion offline, and we'll get back to you on our thoughts on Jose later. But over to you, Pratmesha. I think United will be a comfortable. It will be in a comfortable position, and I expect them to win 3-0.
Yeah, I think obviously Villa Park, as you said, has been a good hunting ground for us. And Kushagra Dikshit, once he stepped foot inside Villa Park, there is no way United are going to lose any other football match there. So, you know, when once our Gary Neville just steps foot, there is no way we're going to lose a game at that stadium. So I hope you step
Yeah.
your foot at Old Trafford and at Anfield and Stamford Bridge and whatnot, and we just keep on
Yeah.
winning games. But apart from that, yeah, guys, Villa Park, do not forget to tune into the game, which is going to be on Thursday night. It is Friday at 12:45 a.m. in India. And thank you for joining Sound of Manchester. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like, share, and subscribe us on YouTube as well as Instagram TV. Thank you, guys.